Welcome to Real Wisdom, where we dive into the real stories of remarkable women. Today, I'm so excited to introduce Erica Diamond, an incredible force who's made it her mission to help women find balance and bliss in a busy world. Almost 2 decades ago, Erica was faced with a choice. She had a successful career, but she was burning out. But instead of stepping back, she embraced change. She became a certified life coach and yoga instructor. She's a blogger, hosts her own podcast, and founded a community to help women master their own life balance. Erica's journey is a powerful reminder that it's never too late to change our paths and embrace new challenges. And if you're curious to hear more stories like this, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Hi, Erica.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. I'm so happy to be able to spend some time with you here today. And if you're ready, let's get the ball rolling.
Let's dive in. I'm ready.
Okay. So it sounds as if maybe 20 years ago that you were in your therapist's office on the verge of burning out.
Yeah.
And
Perfect place to start.
oh, good. Oh, good. Because I think we've all probably been there at one point in our lives. And we always hear about the what and the why when it comes to change. But I don't feel that we hear enough about the how. Can you tell us how you started this major shift in your life, trying to balance your passion for business and also your well-being?
Beautiful. So I will take us back to, so I'm 49. I just turned 49 last week. I'm hitting a big number next year. So when I was 24, I started my first company. $5,000. Don't laugh. I had been living at home and at the time, and I had saved up money working and started this business in my parents' basement, which 2 years into the company, by the time I was 26, we were already a Profit Hot 50 company, one of Canada's 50 emerging growth companies. I was the only female CEO on the list. I was a top 30 under 30 entrepreneur, and our business, I was out of my parents' house as far as an office by now, and we were growing exponentially, and publicly it looked amazing. And privately, I was quietly burning out. And I credit my mom, who is a therapist, who looked at me and she said, Erica, something's up here and I think you should speak to someone. She's like, not me, because I'm your mom, of course. She's always someone who's, I guess, given me free therapy, my whole life. But she said, really, I think that you should speak to someone. I wasn't sleeping. I became very agitated, restless. I was all consumed with my business. Everything set me off. Traffic pissed me off. All the things. So I met this lovely girl, Sandra, at the gym, and she was a therapist, Dr. Peel. And I said to her, Sandra, and I liked her. We connected. We pushed weights together every week in the gym. And I said, Sandra, I think I need some help. Would you see me? So she said, sure. So I found myself on Sandra's, a chair in her office. And what we had come to the realization together with was nobody was telling me to stop doing what I loved, what my passion was, and what I was really good at. She suggested instead that I balance this kind of hustle life or this go-getting young entrepreneurial life instead with a calming lifestyle. And she suggested that I try yoga and meditation. And therein lived the birth of my yoga and meditation journey at the age of 26 years old. I haven't stopped practicing probably a day since. And it was yoga and meditation. So Steve became my non-negotiable, and I speak as a life and career coach often about our non-negotiables. And so what are our non-negotiables? So Steve became a non-negotiable to me, which was he came to my house twice a week and he taught me yoga and breath work. And he taught me the ability to bring myself and my own body to a state of calm, how to do it on a yoga mat, how to do it off the yoga mat. And it brought me back to center. Yoga and meditation are real, are powerful. We in fact know that meditation now we've seen in studies that is just as powerful as Lexapro for anxiety. And so it is what kept me balanced. So I feel that my whole life and my whole adult life, I straddle the yin to my yang, which is I'm very fiery and I'm very passionate and I'm very motivated. And I have this really alpha side to me, but I also have this really soft and still side. So I envision myself almost like a yin and a yang, which is like this little, this big fire of energy, like a whole balanced portion to myself where I'm able to channel both. And I think that has been my ability, and I've learned how to access and tap into both. And I think it's worked very well for me. And so what became clear to avoiding burnout was having my strategies of toolbox. Whenever I felt anxious, I would breathe, I would get on my yoga mat, I would feel better. Sleeping, talking about my 5 pillars of well-being, how I eat, how I sleep, how I move my body, how I manage stress, how I connect socially. I am really good to myself. And I've always been good to myself. And my mom taught me that. And she raised me different than my friends were raised. And she taught me to sleep when I'm tired, eat when I'm hungry, listen to my boundaries, honor my boundaries, not, do what society tells me to do, but to really tune in and listen to myself. And so those have always guided me. So I'm really intentional with my 5 pillars of well-being. I'm really intentional with my schedule and my time, which helps me avoid burnout. And if you're listening or watching this and you are interested in also, if your days are like you're procrastinating, you don't have enough time, you're running on the hamster wheel, I have a beautiful workshop that I'm in the middle of giving called Clockwise, which I can talk about after. But I really learned how to get really great at self-care. And when I speak of self-care, the self-care that maybe you're thinking about are like massages and manicures and spa days, but those are not the self-care that I teach. I teach deep healing self-care, time management, boundaries, non-negotiables, diving deep into our finances to make a plan to pay off our debt because it is stressing us out. The self-care I teach sometimes doesn't feel very pleasurable in the moment, but it is our short-term pain for our long-term gain, shall we say. So that is really my experience with teetering on burnout, how I overcame it, and how I've never seen it again, thank goodness, knock on wood, because I'm so intentional with my days and my schedule and my well-being.
That's very interesting that you said about the self-care that you're trying to teach is that it isn't always pleasurable. And that's interesting because I think I immediately, and I'm sure other people do too, as soon as you hear the word self-care, it's something fun. Like I'm going to go get a coffee and a walk in the park. But life isn't always that simple.
Well said.
Then there was one more thing, because you're talking about how your mom taught you those things. And I know that you're also a mom. Do you do that for your children as well? Are you trying to teach them?
Oh my goodness. I do it to the nth degree, to 1,000 plus. My big son doesn't live here. He's in college. He is in the middle of exams. In fact, he has one today. Last night we spoke, shut your books down early, go to sleep early. His exam is today at 2:00. Make sure you go for a walk, get some fresh air, eat a good lunch, do your deep breathing before. I really, really coach my kids about the importance of listening to their body, tuning in, the importance of self-care. Yes, I teach it to my kids? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think what's nice is they've seen it. I don't just say it, right? You know how we say like, I do as you do, not as you say. So I do it and say it. And it upsets me because they don't eat the best food and I get upset. And they've seen a mom who's been really good about nutrition and everything. And they eat the chicken nuggets and all the garbage and, like grilled cheese with processed cheese and all that stuff. And they love and they don't want to eat my fish or my salmon or my broccoli and all the stuff that they see. But I'm hoping, and in fact, sometimes I do see seeds of hope where the good lifestyle they've seen their mom live, I know is rubbing off on them. It comes in spurts. I don't see it all the time, but I do see it.
I'm sure as they get older, they're going to realize how these things they'll have a little toolbox that they could go back and draw from.
Yes. And I want to just say, if you're watching this, if you're listening to it, it's one thing. If you're watching this, my face right now is my example of self-care, meaning I had my annual breast checkup with my doctor this morning. And my gift was I did yoga before I went, which didn't leave me enough time to put on makeup to look presentable in this interview, right? So the doctor took too long, but it was my self-care. I was getting my son ready and getting him to school. And I said, it's like 20 minutes of makeup or it's 20 minutes of sleeping in, practicing yoga, and still showing up and people not caring what my face looks like. So those were things. So that's why I have no makeup. It was a choice to go on my yoga mat. And I knew that I would show up in my essence would come through whether I'm wearing makeup or not. So those things are self-care. Like just the fact that I'm not in makeup, those little things are gifts to ourselves, where we can shed some of these kind of images of perfection and tune in and listen to ourselves. That's self-care too.
So that you're not stressing yourself out and thinking, I have to fit all of this in
Yeah,
20
absolutely.
minutes.
Yes, for sure.
I'd like to spend just a little bit of time getting to know you in a different way. Are you up for a quick round of this or that?
Woo! Sure. And if I can't or don't want to answer it, I will just be honest. So let's
Fair.
go.
Done.
Fire away.
Are you a plan ahead or go with the flow?
Oh my God. I am both. I am a definite planner, which I think you can understand because that's everything is about planning ahead. But I'm the most spontaneous person. So if you're looking for a girlfriend to like get in the car and drive to New York or do something fun and spontaneous, I'm always that person. So I'm both. But really, I think I'm a planner. I'm a fun, spontaneous person. But I'm a planner for sure.
I like the spontaneity, though. That gives you that little spice to life when you're open to trying new things.
You bet.
I think you like music. You're a music person.
I am. And in fact, this is my self-care that you see in the back. That's my practice. That's my I've been succumbed to my office. It's the only place I'm allowed to put this drum set that I got because I have a yoga studio in the basement. I teach yoga and this is my office. And my son said, I said, can I put the drums in the basement? They said, Mom, you have a yoga studio, your bedroom, an office. You have 3 rooms here. You put the drums in your office. So I said, fair enough. So I love music, and my self-care season gift to myself is I take drum lessons now, and I love it.
Fabulous. Okay, well, with that in mind, is it a local jazz club or a big music festival?
Oh, God, these are good questions. Music for me, music concert, live concert with like an artist that I love. But I love everything, small venues, big venues, jazz clubs, festivals. I'm really not picky. I love them all. For me, it's just live music with a crowd of people. We have the most amazing Montreal Jazz Fest here every summer. I go to it every summer. I go at night in my night cream and my glasses so I can just come home and be showered and just brush my teeth and go to sleep. Like I love any kind of live music. It's very special to me.
Next one, walking city streets or hiking forest trails?
God, I don't sound so decisive here. I'm going to say walking city streets.
Hosting a podcast or speaking at a conference?
Those are both my jobs. I host a podcast and I speak at conferences. I would say speak at conferences only because I love, and I'm going to say live because I love being with other people. So I will choose speaking because I'm in a room with other amazing humans. So that feels great.
Right. And there's a certain type of energy when you're in a room full of people.
For sure. For sure.
Okay. Last one, brunch at a cafe or breakfast in bed?
Brunch in a cafe. You can see I work from home alone. So anytime I can be out with other people, that I think is the theme of all your questions. It's like be in a city, be out at brunch, be out at a concert, be out speaking, because so much of my job is spent in my office, so speaking virtually, coaching. So yes, teaching my membership, my Busy to Bliss membership. So I like to get out with real people.
Yeah, makes sense. Over in the years, I've seen that you say that the change is the one constant in life. Was there ever a change that you fought against or worried about, but then ended up being like one of the best things that you did?
So I don't believe I've had any major life changes other than the basics of moving. Thankfully, I have my parents, so I haven't experienced that trauma of a deep loss. My aunt passed away. So as far as change, like finding myself with one parent or in a divorce or God forbid something, illness, like so far in my 49 years, I haven't had major changes. So I don't think I can fairly answer that. Have there been, of course, changes in stages? Have I encountered struggles? Absolutely. What I have found with Any kind of change, it's about adaptability, right? And how adaptable and resilient we are to change is how well we can adapt. So have I had setbacks? Absolutely. So I'll look at setbacks as change. And I think I'm good at that, in that when something disappointing or a failure happens at work or something doesn't go my way, I'm very good at right away. I go right into scarcity mindset. Like right away, I'm like, oh, that was crap. Like, how did this happen? What a disaster. And I get very upset and I allow myself to have it out with myself. So I allow myself to grieve the disappointment, the change that maybe it was supposed to go one way and it went another way. I give myself good honor and space to grieve it. And then I'm very good at getting back on the horse. So I go down pretty quickly, whereas maybe someone wouldn't be as triggered. I'm very triggered. I'm very responsive. I'm very disappointed. I'm very upset, but I come back very quickly. So I've learned is it's not how low and far down we go, it's how quickly we bounce back. And after I give myself a few days of like, well, that really sucked. That was really awful. And that really did not turn out the way I wanted it to be. Okay, now what? Where am I going? What are we doing? How am I coming back? What is the plan to course correct? How do we do that? And right away, I'm re-inspired, I'm reignited, and I'm back on changing the change.
I like that. So you feel the feel.
Oh, I feel it. If I'm to be honest, yes, I go right away. What did I do wrong? And I think I have very much an abundance mindset. And I don't think just because I immediately default to what's lacking doesn't mean that I don't have an abundance mindset, because I flip onto abundance pretty quickly. But I give myself grace and compassion and allow myself to feel disappointed when a change or a setback happens. And I don't do anything and I don't problem solve when I'm there. I just sit in it. But I don't sit there too long because my core is resilient.
Wow, you have some really good advice. I feel like in this short time, I should be taking notes. I'm learning a lot. You,
I hope you two don't stay stuck too long. We're all allowed to feel the things. We need to feel the things. And the problem lies when we don't feel the things, when we numb ourselves out and we gaslight ourselves and we tell ourselves, oh, it's no big deal. We're just going to keep going on. Right. And we have this sort of toxic positivity. Ah, it's no big deal. Yes, it's a big deal. Yes, it feels like shit. Yes, it's horrible. Yes, it's a big disappointment. So own that, sit in that, process that, give yourself grace and compassion. And then when you feel it's time, move forward with a plan.
I love it. And I think that leads to my next question. So you've built this thriving community, Busy to Bliss, where you teach women how to manage their time and energy effectively.
Yeah.
What's been the best feedback you've gotten or heard from someone who's been a part of that community, their transformation?
Two things were the biggest pluck outs from the community, from Busy to Bliss. So Busy to Bliss is a self-care community for busy women with real life schedules. So I take them through my 4-step roadmap. First, mindset. So we can't change our lives until we move from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. Then we look at energy and well-being, self-care, our 5 pillars of well-being. Next, we move on to time and time management. So first, I'll say reclaim our mind, then our body, then our days and our time. And so that's all about trimming the fat off your schedule, getting intentional with your days. And then transformation is the 4th step. Once we learn how to create these new habits, how do we make them last for long-term transformation? So in the process that I take my women through, and it is now a monthly membership, which is so amazing. Women now have the support month after month to stay on target with their goals. It's not just a course anymore. And what I have found in this community are 2 things. Number 1, they were shocked at the meditation. I teach them meditation in the course and I teach them about mindfulness. And they get a free premium subscription to one of the best mindfulness and meditation apps called Breathe. And the meditation portion has changed them the most, because most of the women I see are tired, overwhelmed, feeling burnt out, stressed, and they don't know how to bring their bodies to a state of calm. So meditation has continually been the best part. And then the community, the leaning on each other, the having each other, the it's been a crappy day. What do you think I should do? This is what's going on. It is having each other to lean on. So community and meditation, I know those are kind of random, but those have really been the 2 biggest, most loved portions of what I teach and what I do.
I know that you don't specifically mention menopause, but for women of this age, It's a transition. We're
So
going through
it's a
some stuff.
hormonal, it's a physical, emotional, physiological, I mean, it's all of it.
Is there a way that you can apply what you're doing to women in menopause?
Great question. So I coach a lot of women who are in perimenopause, menopause, going through menopause, and I always say the same thing. I'm not a doctor. I'm a certified life and career coach, yoga meditation teacher. So I need you, and one of your self-care items is, if you feel like your hormones are off, is to visit your doctor and create an action plan to take care of your hormones. Everything I teach will only serve through menopause. Yoga, meditation, self-care, that all helps you through menopause, but it is a physiological change that you need to speak to your doctor about. And that is part of self-care, saying, I've decided I'm going to do something. Are there options for me? Hot flashes, insomnia. I can only teach you what I can teach you, but there is that transitionary period of menopause where that is beyond my scope. But yes, of course, all the things that I teach definitely will serve through menopause 100%. It's science-based, it's proven, it's dialed in, locked and loaded. So, these things will all help you through menopause. If you're not sleeping, if you don't have a sleep routine, all these things, we'll feel worse if we're not practicing those pillars. But definitely I encourage women to speak to their doctor, because there is a hormonal change going, and I am not a doctor.
So you mentioned that you had a birthday recently, and I loved.
Still have a 4 in my age. My husband just had a 5 a month before me. He's a year older than me.
The blog post about the 49 lessons. I love that.
You really did your homework, Holly. I love this. I love interviewers who really come with all the good stuff.
Oh, I'm glad to know it. There was something you wrote on there, and I'm just going to read it really quick. You said you were really transparent, and you said, I've got more wrinkles, more cellulite, and more wisdom. And I loved that, because I feel, though, that women focus too much on the wrinkles and cellulite. How do we get more women to talk about the wisdom portion of that?
It's a journey and a process. And that's why I think that self-esteem and exercising our resilience muscle and trying new things and proving to ourselves that we can dream something up and manifest it and chase our goals and dreams, that's how we stop focusing on the wrinkles. You see, I showed up today. I had enough confidence to show up on video looking like this, because I know that I bring more to the table than what my face looks like. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's how we focus. I've done the work. I put in the time, and that's why and that's why when I see new wrinkles, is it wonderful to look at like my neck? Look at this. Is it nice to look at like these wrinkles on my neck? It's not especially pleasurable for me to see that. Like, do I like that I get on the scale and it's a new weight? It's not particularly fun and enjoyable, but am I going to obsess over it? You better believe not, because I know that I've got other good stuff that I'm working on, that I can contribute, that I can help people with. And so I don't get stuck in that stuff. It's very easy to get stuck. And I've noticed in my coaching practice, I've been coaching women for 20 years. It's the women who either don't volunteer or don't work part-time. And even if you are thankfully in a position where you're a trust fund baby or you have a wealthy partner and you don't have to work, those are the women who get stuck the most and fixated the most. It's the women who don't either have volunteering or a job or something igniting them. And I'm not saying that their children don't. Of course our children ignite us. I mean something for you, something beyond your partner and your kids, something that's for you. You've given birth to an idea, a something, a side hustle, a volunteer. And I'm saying, notice how I didn't say it's monetary. It could be a volunteer project where you're spearheading something in your community, something that ignites you, that excites you. And so that will get you off the cellulite and the wrinkles, because you will be so excited and passionate that you'll learn how to be like, okay, it's life. Life happens. Shit happens. But I got a lot of good stuff happening and I'm really excited. And so that keeps our skin looking good. That keeps us happy. That keeps us in purpose and passion and flow. So that's the way, is to have your own thing, whatever that thing looks like.
That's funny you said that, because that was one of my, out of that list, I liked the one where you talked about perfection and how that will keep you stuck.
Oh yeah.
Did you have a favorite from the list?
Oh, I don't remember. I wrote that list 2 weeks ago. Do I have a favorite from the list? I think they were all, I mean, some of them less important, but I think they were all together a profound picture. I think all together It's like when you do life for the second half, you realize what's important. You get your
Yeah.
priorities straight, I think is the big message to take away. When we're young, we're in it, we're worried. It's heavy in the early years. We're raising kids, some of us. We're like picking, like it's manual labor, it's lunches, school lunches. We get bigger, it becomes this question, what am I going to do with the second act of my life right now? And I'm lucky, I feel grateful that I don't question that at all, because I fully am doing what I love. But all these things come up. So we've got to make sure that we have one shell, one life, one body, we take care of it. And I think that we stimulate our mind, we do things that are interesting for us.
I did see on Instagram where you were taking your drum lessons. And I just absolutely love that, because I feel that so often women, especially at this stage, because you're talking about getting stuff, but also we kind of stop learning. And your enthusiasm for trying new things and learning new things.
And showing how bad I am at them. That's a whole
No,
other.
but you're showing, like, just go do it. Do you have any type of encouragement for someone to go out and try a new thing? Like, why music? Why drums?
Because it's my passion. Because it's my biggest joy in life is music. It's my self-care. It's what makes me excited. I've wanted to do this for so many years. I've wanted to learn how to play the drums. I love Sheila E. Do you know Sheila E?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
She's Prince's drummer. She's like totally been and she actually answered me. I shared it. I said, one day my big goal is to be like Sheila E. And it was like one of my first videos. I'm still so bad. I've only had 5 lessons, and I was really terrible. And she's like, you're amazing. Keep going. Don't stop. Like, I'm like, one day I'll play Love Bazaar. I'll pluck along and drum along to your Love Bazaar. I love that song. And so, first we got to find the time to be able to do the things that we want to do. So I think time is a really big portion, because we're feeling burnt out. We're not going to look and find the time for the drum lesson, right? That's why I teach women about time. Again, clockwise is, if you struggle, clockwise is so massive for that. But first, deservability, right? There's so many things at play, that you are worthy and you are deserving of pleasure and love and joy and fun and something for yourself and being curious. Say we're not put on this earth to just wake up, bring our kids to school, go to work, come home, make dinner, and go to bed. Like, I am here to live my full 360 life. And that means working hard. That means tuning into my pleasures. And this doesn't mean, like I said, I'm not telling you to go on this expensive vacation. I mean, I went on Amazon, I bought this cheap set so I can practice, and investing in lessons. They're not very expensive. I go to a music school with kids, It's about finding moments of what turns you on. It could be taking, going to play tennis with the girls, starting a mahjong and card group, starting a book club. Like, what if you love to read, starting an online book club? Like, that is so much fun. If you love to read and you want to share your passion of reading with other women, I mean, there are so many things that you can do to create this element of excitement and find the time for your drums. I mean, drums are for me. What is it for you? Going to culinary school, cooking school. Let's say you're really great at making biscottis. Can you start a little biscotti business? I mean, do you see where I'm going with this? It's about tapping into what you enjoy and then getting intentional with time to make sure that it sits on your agenda, but in a way that is not choking you, in a way that feels like there is room to explore it.
I always like to give my guest a chance to tell me something that you're passionate about. What is happening in the world of your community? Is there something that you'd like to share with us today?
Sure. So I mentioned it a little bit. I am hosting May 1st at 8 p.m. and May 8th at 11 a.m. a beautiful 60-minute time management and productivity workshop called Clockwise. It's all about how to work smarter, not harder, end procrastination, and own your day every day. So if you are a busy woman and you are feeling like you want to create space and time for passion, if you're running out of your days, you're never getting through what you need to do, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're procrastinating, if you want to dive deep into your days to create new habits, new ways, please come to Clockwise. It's free. You'll be able to see it. Go to my social media, Erica Diamond. It's in the link in my bio. It's at ericadiamond.com. And so come to this workshop. And of course, you're invited. Our doors are open to busytobliss.com. If you go to busytobliss.com, You're welcome to come in at $37 a month. I mean, this is a no-brainer, how to start prioritizing yourself, your time, your life, your days. This is a full coaching program, live coaching program with me. And the doors to that close May 9th. So you have until May 9th to join, and then we go to waitlist. So I invite you to take Clockwise or join us inside busytobliss.com. We have a beautiful community of women. This is life-changing. And the first 8 weeks are the most special because I take you through the whole self-care foundational piece the first 8 weeks, which is amazing. And that's it. And then I'm really responsive. I love Instagram. I'm there the most. So I'm Erica Diamond on Instagram. Visit me online. I have a podcast where you can learn more. I have a great book that will help you manifest your goals called List Your Goals Journal. I have a beautiful line of essential oils if you love health and wellness that helps with sleep, stress, energy, and immunity. That's called Bliss Essential. That, like, everything I do is all under the umbrella of self-care. So if self-care is your jam like me, I'm your girl.
Thank you so much. It was really a pleasure talking to you, and I feel that women are going to get so much out of this conversation. And I'll make sure to include, where we could find you. And again, thank you. This was really fun.
Same to you. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on Real Wisdom. If you're inspired by stories like this and want to be part of a community that celebrates the wisdom of women, visit joinimpart.com and become a part of our conversation. And don't forget to subscribe for more Real Wisdom. Until next time, keep embracing your story.